Tzu Chi Philippines chapter started a manual vocational training course to help disadvantaged care recipients. In Taiwan, eggs produced organically account for just 10% of the market due to higher costs. Welcome to DA Headlines. I'm Simon Gan. Thank you for joining us. Tzu Chi Philippines chapter started a manual vocational training course for the disadvantaged care recipients last year. They were taught how to make various woven floor mats, which could be sold at the Jingsi Books and Cafe. Now, these items are unexpectedly popular due to the coronavirus epidemic, as many are soaked with disinfectant and placed at the door of every store.
Environmentally friendly floor mats are soaked in disinfectant and have become the norm at the entrance of each store. During the COVID-19 epidemic, upon entering any store or building, these two steps are indispensable. Epidemic prevention and disinfection mats come from this group of mothers who live in a slum area.
I sell one for half a US dollar, so I have to sell 10, it will be $5 US, which is enough to buy infant formula. If it is a big mat, I sell for about a US dollar and 10 will be about 10 US dollars. If my husband helps, we can double our income.
Ipon mo siya na kung dalawa kami nakakadoble. Oh, malaki na din.
September last year, the Tzu Chi Philippines chapter opened vocational training course. It utilized scrap material donated by a sock factory. Volunteers taught the care recipients how to weave and make various knitted items. Originally only sold in Jingsi Books and Cafe, the environmentally friendly mats have since become popular due to the epidemic.
Tutulungan siya ng Tzu Chi na
I'm really happy when Tzu Chi helped many poor people like my mother during lockdown of the city. Not only did they send rice, but also allow us to earn income through these vocational training classes.
Malaki po ang tulong kay Mama.
Tzu Chi care recipient Hoa Violeta suffers from PAOD and has mobility issues with severe pain in the legs. However, during the current epidemic, she is still able to maintain her livelihood and support herself, which gives her peace of mind during these difficult times.
In Malaysia's Tzu Chi Dialysis Center, due to the pandemic, the nursing staff has changed their working hours to reduce the risk of contracting the virus. The dialysis patients also showed their gratitude and support towards the nursing staff. Let's take a look. We'll help them disinfect whenever they come here. Places that have been touched will definitely be sanitized. There'll be more work, but we're only doing our duty. Hoping this pandemic will end soon, so that our dialysis patients can be safer and we do not have to worry about them.
About the recent pandemic, it's a bit troublesome, but it's still manageable. We need to protect ourselves and others.
I think this is very good. Our safety is being taken care of. There's a lower chance of contracting the virus.
The nurses in the dialysis here are all very young. However, during this pandemic, I saw their mindfulness and team efforts. Due to the long hours of dialysis, they often need to work overtime. Besides, they also take very good care of patients' meals and cleanliness. Although the pandemic is slowing down, they still remind the patients to stay at home, wash their hands frequently, and wear a mask.
要勤洗手，要戴口罩，尽量少出门哦。
花更多的时间去陪伴我们的病人，跟他们聊。
We'll spend more time with the patients, understanding their family conditions. Some lost their jobs due to the movement control order, affecting their family's economy. After learning this, we'll pass the information to the social welfare department, sending them help in the shortest time.
My younger brother is also a dialysis patient. Due to the pandemic, my mother cannot sell fried rice vermicelli. Hence, there's no income. but my brother has a social security aid, so our daily expenses are currently being covered by him.
I work for my friend and deliver spare parts for cars like car decorations. I do not have a job at the moment.
护士之间聊起，原来就是
The nurses will also talk about the psychological pressure they're enduring. Sometimes during their days off, they'll wake up early in the morning wondering if it's a working day or they have the day off. We also cannot sleep soundly at night because every day is a tiring day. There are many things we need to take care of. After taking some notes, we'll have to carry on with our work again. We really hope that when we go back home, we can just sit there and relax.
I'm very thankful towards Tzu Chi. As long as I can still walk around, I will help with the best I can.
I just need to take care of myself so that others will be taken care of.
在这里我也
I would like to thank all the medical staff who has been in the front lines during this pandemic. Everyone has done a good job, and all of you must take good care of your health too.
你们要好好的照顾身体。
Next, we take a look at Haida's story. He too is a nurse at the Tzu Chi Dialysis Center, and due to the movement control order, he was being separated from his family during Eid. However, the pandemic has taught him to cherish his family even more. Let's see his story. Before the sun rises in the morning, this nurse at the Tzu Chi Dialysis Center, Haidar, heads off to work after finishing his simple breakfast. He then fasts for the whole day, carrying out his duty as a Muslim during the month of Ramadan.
We pray 5 times a day during the month of Ramadan to cleanse ourselves and be closer to God. For Muslims, this is the holy month. When we practice fasting, not only do we need to control the thirst and hunger, but we also must control our actions from doing bad things.
Due to the pandemic, the Malaysian government has set the movement control order, and for nurses in the dialysis center, their working hours change from 2 shifts a day to 1 12-hour shift per day, reducing the risk of contracting the virus.
在戒月的时候。
During the month of Ramadan, the whole country was under movement restriction. With that being said, they still have to work 12 hours a day, no less. They just know that this is their duty and they have to carry it out. Other nurses have asked them to take some rest, but they never rest even when they're fasting.
You will feel even tired if you don't work because there's nothing to focus on. As long as you work, you will not feel tired. Fasting can also help detoxify your body because it will burn the fat stored in your body for energy.
The 30th day of Ramadan is the eve of the Eid al-Fitr. The fireworks outside the window fully express the joy in the hearts of all the Muslims.
After the month of Ramadan is Eid. It's considered a victory day, so we will wear new clothes and gather with our family members. It's also a time for forgiveness. If we've done anything wrong in the past, we'll also ask for forgiveness from our parents.
However, this year's Eid is a little different.
This year is a little sad because I've already planned with my wife to head back home to Langkawi Island to celebrate Eid. However, due to the movement restrictions, we cannot travel interstate, so I cannot go back home. I also cannot meet my wife. My wife is pregnant and facing a lot of difficulties. I stay connected with her through video calls and give her all my support.
Although Haidar is unable to head back home to celebrate Eid with his family during the epidemic, he has learned something new from this experience.
We must cherish what we have because we might not get what we want. I'm very happy to be able to celebrate Eid with my friends in Penang.
The next day after Eid, Haidar is back to work. As usual, the love and care he provides to his patients are as if they are his own family. The children at the Kaohsiung Dai Kindergarten recently launched a fundraising campaign. They have made clay pens to sell and also created their own advertising jingle. Let's join them there.
Singing the hand-washing song, the children are learning to protect themselves during epidemic prevention. They also want to help others. Outside the Kaohsiung Dai-Art Kindergarten, there are booths selling different items, some of which are donated by someone, while others are handmade.
Writing with this pen can make you very smart, and we especially make it possible to be inserted in the chair.
They make clay pens and plan a way of display for selling. They even created the advertising jungle by themselves.
Originally, we planned to have a self-service store. We have asked the children to create the advertising jingle and record it in advance.
With perfect protection, the fundraising activity has overcome the difficulties during epidemic prevention and allows the children to be the store managers. Many people came to respond.
I'm very touched because this will be used to help other people in need.
Although the toys are second-hand, the children are very happy. Through this activity, they have learned to share their love to the people in need.
Due to the pandemic, the Tzu Chi Academy at Cupertino have been suspended since March and have changed to online lessons. While most of the graduation in the United States were cancelled, they hosted an online graduation for the first time in 20 years, making it a memorable one.
Three graduates and parents met with teachers online.
After more than 10 years of hard work, she has turned from a girl who can speak Mandarin to a moderate Mandarin speaker now. I hope every graduate will not forget the Chinese and a grateful heart that you learn in Tzu Chi Academy.
不会忘记你们在奇迹学的中文，还感恩之心。我们终于毕业了。
We finally graduate. After 14 years, this day finally arrived. Besides learning Chinese, I have also learned a lot about life in Tzu Chi's humanities class. Seeing many disasters in other parts of the world, I feel very blessed.
我明白到我的幸福。希望大家在这段日子里。
I hope everyone can learn the lesson taught by the epidemic during this period. Whether it is good or bad, we must work hard and move forward.
一定也要一起努力再往前走。
The students who have been classmates for the past 14 years all appear in the multi-screen video connection. It is hoped that their friendship will last forever. Happy graduation!
All commercially available eggs in the market are unfertilized eggs. Does it mean that they are all equal? The answer is no. An animal welfare group surveyed the Taiwanese market, finding that eggs produced organically or in an environmentally friendly way, such as free-range grazing, account for 10% of the market. The problem many believe are higher costs, which consumers cannot accept.
The appearance of these eggs is all different, like a macaroon. It's quite eye-opening as they are all pure, undyed, real eggs.
It is like our skin. If your skin is yellow, then your child will have yellow skin. If you are a white child, then you are Caucasian. Actually, that food can change the color of the egg yolk, but the eggshells must have a special relationship to the chicken itself.
These different colored eggs are all produced on Tsai's farm. If we look closely, almost every egg has spots of different sizes. This is a natural phenomenon of calcium deposits and pigment degradation during eggshell formation. Tsai is able to tell these eggs apart because he worked raising chickens. Over 20 years ago, in order to help his elderly father, he changed from a jewelry merchant to an egg farmer.
Then the hen comes in from the other side to lay eggs. Here you can see that there are a few. You can see there are a lot of eggs inside.
A square wooden box is called a nest box because before laying eggs, the hen will overcome various obstacles and push the door of the wooden box to lay eggs inside.
When a hen wants to lay an egg, she can freely run around the ground and choose her favorite nest box to lay her eggs. This means that a hen can lay an egg in a very healthy and stable way. This healthy way of free-range egg production in Taiwan so far only accounts for 11% of production.
Indoor production of eggs in a free-range style is an improvement over the restriction of battery cages. The hens have more space to roam and exhibit more natural behavior. In this space, layer hens can freely kick, pace, and parade. This is indicative of a more organic and eco-friendly production system. By laying some special material on the ground, along with special bacteria, feces can be absorbed and decomposed. These hens can also clean their feathers. Moreover, Mr. Tsai also specially set up some branches for these hens to perch. In most farms, hens and roosters are not kept together because laying hens provide eggs to the market that are not fertilized. At present, in addition to this free-range style of production, there's also natural grazing and enriched cage feeding. The enriched cage feeding system is the lowest standard allowed in the European Union. Laying hens are also housed in cages but are provided with 750 square centimeters of space per chicken and 15 centimeters to perch and a special area for laying eggs. Natural grazing is very similar to free range, as it has to have a nest box and perch. The difference is that the coop has a door that leads to outdoor activities. Thus, laying hens can freely enter and exit the coop. The Hualien New Dawn Institution uses its residents to raise 100 hens in Shoufeng Township, produce eggs in a healthy and non-toxic manner. However, as with grazing and feeding systems, the biggest challenge is safeguarding the health of all these layer hens. These eco-friendly eggs that are free of animal cruelty still have to be collected by humans, and these eggs are easily contaminated with feces or other material, as they need to be wiped carefully before they can be sold. Therefore, human labor accounts for a majority of costs, which can be prohibitive.
The cost of a single egg from a better cage usually sells for 5 NT, and the price of an organic or eco-friendly egg is generally 8 to 10 NT, so you're spending an extra 3 to 5 NT per day. If I calculate a higher price of 5 NT, then after 30 days you have spent 150 NT, which is the cost of a cup of coffee. However, what you're doing is inspiring this industry to improve, and you're not just looking after the health of hens and also the farmers, and you're also caring for yourself.
In 2018, a number of sales channels began to set up a non-caged eggs. 2 years later, in 2020, a free grazing egg area will be launched. Many expect that the transformation of the food we consume may start from eggs, as we can now actively decide how we want to treat the hens that provide us with eggs, as consumers can consult labels and truly decide how much they are willing to pay.
Hualien County government participated in the weekly vegetarian diet campaign. This time, Tzu Chi volunteers have came to the Health Bureau to comfort the staffs with a vegetarian feast.
Hualien County Health Bureau staffs took their lunch boxes to get food from a variety of vegetarian dishes to participate in the vegetarian campaign.
I think that eating vegetarianism is good for nature, and I will continue to do this.
The government department began from themselves to set as examples to promote the vegetarian campaign.
Tzu Chi Foundation worked together with the Hualien County government to promote adopting a vegetarian diet 1 day each week. They have ordered lunch boxes by themselves.
Nature has taught us through the COVID-19 virus that we must be more humble and treasure our land more. The best way to love our land is to adopt a vegetarian diet.
The Health Bureau staffs have been standing at the front line to care for those in need during the epidemic. These vegetarian cuisines are meant to comfort their efforts.
This time we were able to fight the epidemic successfully. It's all because Taiwan has a complete public health system. It's also the result of the efforts from all the nurses in our bureau.
Volunteers also hand out coupons for them to dine at different vegetarian restaurants in Hualien, hoping that vegetarianism can become a part of everyone's life.
At Hsinchu's Fuda Recycling Station, a group of young volunteers paid a visit along with their teacher. They learned about the dangers of plastics and potential harm to the body as they all pledged to keep the earth clean.
These are all drinks, bottles, and containers that are part of daily life. It's quite common to see these things discarded, as Granite Junior High School students were given the chance to sort these items.
I help these ladies cut off the plastic ring on these bottles. This helps them do recycling more efficiently.
I just did some recycling and I learned that everyone uses too many plastic products. Most of the garbage is made up of plastic items.
These students soon realized that their teacher had good intentions in bringing them here.
In the last few years, I believe that everyone has seen TV news reports about a number of related issues such as plasticizers or plastic microfibers in the ocean. I hope that the generation, like these students, can take up the cause of environmentalism. We should talk to our children about this subject. I think the most important thing is that these children can feel the impact themselves as well as the following generation.
Previously, this teacher came and observed us. Later, she learned a lot about the back-end processes of recycling, which she wanted to share with the students.
Using their two hands and eyes, these students learned that some things done for human convenience have really impacted the lives of others.
It's bleeding from the nose. The straw is stuck in its nose.
Compared to book learning, this lesson in real-life recycling is more powerful than any recycling slogans, as many of these students have now been inspired to take up the cause of recycling.
A 5-year-old girl suffering from blood cancer was unable to match up with a suitable bone marrow donor. Her family members posted a message on the internet, inspiring more than 2,500 people from all over Taiwan to do blood tests and register as potential stem cells donors, hoping to give the girl a second chance in life.
Bearing the pain of drawing blood, many people come to Zhongli Tzu Chi grants to register as a potential donor for stem cells because of a message on the internet.
A 5-year-old girl searched for a non-relative match in our bone marrow database, yet none of them meet her needs. Her family sought our assistance through the internet, so I hope everyone in society can lend a helping hand.
Mr. Xun, who has 3 children, can better understand the feeling of the girl's parents. He, being the heroic father in his child's painting, went there with his family, showing them his compassion with real action.
I've read the message about the 5-year-old girl. Then when I learned about this activity, I immediately said I wanted to come.
To save a life, you can't even wait for a minute. There are people who have made a special trip from Miaoli to Taoyuan for the blood test and registration.
To me, it's worthwhile to spend about a week to help others extend their lifespan for more than 10 years.
As that story about a matching request has made more than 2,500 people in Taiwan do a blood test and register as potential stem cells donor, hoping to save the little girl's life.
Due to the pandemic, Tzu Chi Foundation has already sent epidemic prevention supplies to 65 countries. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you and goodbye.